MGTOW monk.
Hey guys, I want you to come with me on a mental journey, a journey of exploring of yourself. And I want to pose a few things to you. So, first of all, I want you to think about that you will be dead in 1 year. And if you are dead in 1 year, you're not going to be debilitated. It's just your life's going to be over. So, you have limited time. Now, this isn't as silly as you might think, because the truth is, you never really know, do you? So let's keep with this premise. You're going to be dead in 1 year. You're getting up, the alarm goes off at 7:30. You shower, you brush your teeth, you shave, you comb your hair, you slap on your work clothes, you get in the car, you maybe huff down a bowl of cereal or a piece of toast. You drive, traffic's terrible. You get into the office, the fluorescent lights hum. There's lots of bitchy, angry people who you don't like that you have to sit with all day. And then you get maybe a lunch break if you're lucky. A lot of days you don't. And then there's some idiot screwed things up. You've got an emergency. Now you're staying till 8:30 or 9 o'clock. You get home. All the restaurants are closed. You pick up a bag of Doritos and a beer and you sit down and you eat. And you have to ask yourself, is this the life you had planned for your existence? Yes, you're climbing the ladder. Yes, you're saving money. Yes, you're contributing to your 401k. But let's throw some reality. When the economy goes down, you may be unemployed. All that savings will get used up. Inflation's going to eat away your 401k to be almost worthless. Everything you're doing to try to get ahead is like a hamster trying to run on a treadmill that goes faster and faster. So if you only have 1 year left, what do you want to spend it doing? What career would you choose? What is your dream? Now, it can't be, I want to spend my days shopping or I want to spend my days in the easy chair watching movies. No, it has to be a real career. So, what are your dreams? What do you really enjoy doing that might be a career? Is there something? I can tell you I really enjoy traveling and I really enjoy videoing and I love writing, and I think more and more that maybe I should consider being a filmmaker and make movies, because the movies coming out of Hollywood are just god awful pieces of crap. And I tell myself I can do better. And with the new cameras, it doesn't take a lot of gear to get a movie done. What it takes is coordination and finding actors and getting the script and getting the sets and the events and locations. It takes a lot to do, but it is doable. And you could certainly try. So those are some other criteria to keep in mind, which is, what's the financial cost? Is it really doable? What would it take to give it a shot and see what happens? Could you really get very far? Could you succeed? Could you make your first effort? And if it didn't work out, there's a lot of cube slaves to go back to. There's a lot. There's a lot of humming fluorescent lights. There's a lot of ham beasts running. Oh, God. I have to tell you. You know the famous video of the ham beast who waves her arms up and down? I think I saw her. I actually think I saw her in the grocery store. She had the hair, the same black shirt. She had the same arms, everything. But it couldn't have been her, of course. I think there are just so many of them now. And as I went through the grocery store, I mean, after I saw her, I almost took my cell phone out and started filming. And I'm like, I can't do that. It's like she was the only person there. Like, but I'm thinking, well, maybe I can film the cereal and then slowly pan and film her just for a second so I can tell you guys I'm not kidding. There really was this ham beast. And as I'm doing my groceries, there were two others. There were two other ham beasts that were incredible. I'm sorry, I digress. It was just so shocking. Um, Now, if you accept that there is something you have thought about or at least accept the unhappiness in your current path, the question then is, if you gave yourself a year to plan towards the goal of having that launching off point, could you do it? Could you put away enough money? Could you plan enough? Could you start to get your ducks in a row so that you could go out and achieve and begin that, let's say, 1 year focused on your dream? And I want you to think hard about this, because if you do not follow your dreams, slowly life is going to pull things away. Your health might go, your mobility could go. In my case, your energy levels just being kaput all the time from medical issues sucks. And it's really hard to get things done. I think if I had the same energy as when I was in my 20s, I was like a chainsaw, could rip through anything. I had this incredible power, and it was all wasted in stupid careers and developing things that meant nothing and were all thrown away, and time after time getting treated like shit and fired or being replaced by assholes with no experience who then doomed the whole project and 30 times over. Why was I so dumb? There wasn't YouTube then, there wasn't internet, there wasn't anything but maybe a couple of stupid self-help books which pretty much said stay in the cubes and work harder. And that's one of the great things today is we have more. We have more intelligence. We have more to understand. I was watching this YouTube video called Norp and South, KNORPP. They have 9 children. They traveled around the US for a year in a van, and now they're spending a year traveling through Europe. And they have to rent huge houses, and they have huge food bills. And the answer is they do it all by selling essential oils. So I listened to their video and I said, well, selling essential oils can fund a lifestyle like that. I don't have to be that successful to fund my little life, right? And then I discovered their hook. The starter kit is $550. So if you take the plunge for your dream, it's like they only have to make that one sale to generate enough income. And it is kind of a multi-level marketing thing where then you get like residual incomes from those people when their sales. And it's all selling a dream. And they're the perfect salespeople for it because they're living the dream life. It's very interesting. Not something I think I'll bother with. I'm not really into multi-level marketing things. I think there is some possibility there, but I think the reality is you make probably 90% of your change from the people that jump in and buy that $550 worth of asparagus oil, whatever it is. Now, a lot of millennials want the easy life, and I think that's not right either. The goal is to find a passion that you can plow yourself into and work hard. This is a very good question. What can you do for 12, 14-hour long days that you could just do and work hard at and just totally not even know the time had gone by? Because if you're watching that clock tick every second, then clearly you're not living your passion's life. You are not doing what you enjoy doing. What is it that you could just spend days and days and just be so focused on and just enjoy all of it? That's a good hint that that's what you should do. A lot of this relates very much to where you live in the world. And I think having a clear mindset is almost impossible within America. America is a system designed to be extremely expensive. They just raised the price of a falafel sandwich to $7.99, which means with a can of soda in tax, it's over $10 for a little sandwich. This is America. Everything costs so much here. And everything is the barren strip mall, go, 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 smoggy streets, pollution, broken down sections, scary people. You have to keep at it to stay in the nicer parts or get sucked into oblivion. It's really hell. You're not going to find your bliss if you're in this environment because the costs are too high. It's too hard. And if you do the research and you look at the graphs, the numbers of small businesses are fewer today by a factor of 4 than they were just 15 or 20 years ago. People can't afford it anymore. And you can't consult and earn the money to have the background and savings to launch a company. I was quoted by a lawyer that just to do the incorporation papers for Delaware was going to run $7,000. And yeah, that's high, but that was a reputable lawyer. And then you have to pay fees every year, franchise taxes and other nonsense. And then you have to file your local business in the state you're in as a foreign business and pay them fees. It's ridiculous. It's literally a system for the rich now to play in this game. You have to have some serious buckaroonies to start this. And I don't see Trump making any changes. So those are some other good guidelines for what your career should be. Let's say it has to be something you can start with $5,000 or less. And it has to be something that you can sell within a year and actually get dollars coming in, enough to fund a meager life. So if you have an online idea, let's say you're an engineer and you do software, there are some great ideas, but you can't do it all yourself. The projects are too big, too complicated. You have to go for venture capital investment. That's a huge pain, and they tell you your ideas are worthless. And then the monetization of the idea, oh, it's just going to be advertising or something. Well, that can take years to build up. It's all very risky and difficult. Or even just opening a restaurant. I had a friend who did that, and they had to spend over $150,000 on the retrofit and the approvals and the registrations to get it all set up. It's not easy anymore in America. And they say they're removing regulations, but it isn't enough. So you have to ask yourself, how can I get to my bliss? Everything is a roadblock. Everything is impossible. And this is another very important thing for MGTOW, because if you are stuck with a wife and kids who depend on you and your paycheck, you are trapped. And I think as much as divorce is painful, one of the beautiful things is that, in a sense, you are now finally free at a huge cost, but free nonetheless. I don't have the answer to give you of what it is for you to do, but if you're in your 20s, you should be testing things. You should jump into completely different careers. Start again at the beginning. Who cares? Another advantage of being in your 20s is you can get that big SBA business loan And if it doesn't work, declare bankruptcy. You're young. You have time to recover. If you're 45, 50, you can't do that anymore because your work days are limited. You will not recover. You cannot recover from a bankrupt state in your mid-50s. It doesn't work. Or at least it's extremely difficult. So if you are in your 20s or even early 30s, that's the time to try crazy stuff. Don't sit and try to climb the ladder in a corporate world. There'll be time for doing that boring sitting when you're in your 30s and you haven't figured it out. If you are in your 40s or 50s, you can start thinking about semi-retirement. You can start thinking about a way to find yourself a means to some income, doing things you enjoy, and having a simple life, and not having the commute, not having the car, not having the drive, not having the traffic, not having the cube lands, not having the fluorescent light home, not having the bitchy bosses. Recruiter really wanted to talk to me this week. I'm going to talk to him next week. He wants me to go and take another cube contract. I don't have a lot of money, but it doesn't really interest me anymore. I don't think that is something I can do even for 6 months anymore. I think I'm gonna just pull things up and start over in another country. That's where my mind is at. So, yeah, it would be nice to have another 50,000 to do that with. But at some point, you have to say enough is enough. I'm tired of being mistreated. I'm tired of not having respect when I do amazing things. I'm tired of saving the day for people. And, well, there was one vice president desperately needed to get a presentation ready for him, and I stayed till midnight to make sure it was perfect. And, yeah, then they tossed me, and he didn't care. So nothing you do in America is ever valued, respected. People are considered commodities to be thrown away, used, and abused. And an employment contract is just a sign that you recognize your slave status. The pay rates are way too low. They haven't increased with inflation for anyone except politicians and doctors. That's it. And bankers. And Wall Street scum. So, yeah, going full time. It just sounds like a death sentence. It really does. And very well may be a heart attack. And is it worth it? Married people want it. They want the in loco parentis. They want the company standing in as a parent. And owning your whole life from waking up to going almost to bed. I don't want that life. That sounds like slavery. That doesn't sound like freedom. That doesn't sound like a real genuine way to live. And nobody's lived that way before. Nobody's spent their whole days staring at computer screens before. This is all new. And it's psychotic. It's not any way to be in this world. I'd rather be a cook. I'd rather have a corner table where I sell spaghetti or something. You can't do that in America. It's not allowed. Anyways, you've got 1 year to get ready, and then you've got 1 year to try your dream. Give that thought on for size and leave me your comments. If you've listened to all of this and liked this video, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe button, and the little bell. And think about supporting this channel as a Patreon. Toss a shekel or two every month. It would really help. Thank you very much, guys.